Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm here today to tell you guys about some of the things that I hate about my car. It's a 2003 Saab 9.3, and I love the car. I bought it about 6 months ago in May, and I really do love it, but obviously no car is perfect, so here are some of the things that I hate about my Saab 9.3. First thing is the transmission. This car is equipped with a 5-speed automatic with a manual shifting mode option. And for the most part, it's a really good transmission. I mean, it usually shifts really smoothly, and I don't really have many problems with it. But one thing that is horrible about it is low speeds. When you're at low speeds, especially around 20 miles an hour, like when I'm sitting in traffic going stop and go, it constantly switches between first, second, and third gear, and it's just so rough, and you can tell it's putting a lot of stress in the transmission, and it's not smooth at all. Secondly, about the transmission is the manual shifting mode. This car is obviously not a high performance car, it's just kind of a nice added option that Saab put in, but it shifts, the downshifts are extremely delayed. Like, I'll go ahead, I'm in 4th gear right now, go ahead, downshift in the 3rd, it just hit 3rd right now, and now in the 2nd, here the car just lurches forward for a second, and then finally the engine gets up to the right revs and goes in the 2nd gear. So that's something that's very annoying. I mean, obviously I don't drive it in manual mode that much because it's just kind of pointless to do something like that, but when you do, it's kind of a pain in the butt. So the second thing I hate about this car is controlling this little heads-up display right here. It has this little panel right here where you have a knob and a customized button to be able to change what it shows, but turning this knob, if you turn it once, nothing happens, and when you turn it a couple times to get to what you want to get to, it just switches to a random thing. It doesn't turn according to what input you put in, and it's very frustrating when, you know, trying to see how hot it is out and you end up getting your gas mileage or the date, which is totally incorrect. Third thing I hate about this car is the headroom. I'm 6 feet tall and I barely have any room here. I have my seat down the whole way. The seats are very nice because you can adjust them a bunch of different ways, but even when I have them the whole way down and not like boosted up, I can feel my hair scraping the top of the car, which is really inconvenient. And in the back, my head is almost completely touching the roof. Next is the interior quality. This car has great leather seats. They're very supportive. They're very comfortable. I love them. And for the car being 13 years old, the interior is in nearly perfect condition. There's no tears or anything in the seats. But aside from the seats, everything is plastic, and the buttons, they have wear on them. It's very frustrating because, you know, the 1 doesn't look like a 1 anymore. The 2, the letters on the 2 are all wiped out. The gauges aren't that nice looking. I'm not a big fan of those. Plastic on the steering wheel. It's not leather wrapped. They kind of put like a fake leather on it, it feels like. You do have nice wood paneling here and leather armrests and stuff, but aside from the leather and the wood, everything is plastic and kind of that cheap GM quality that you would expect from a Saab of this generation and time. Next thing I hate about this car is the reliability and the check engine light. And with Saabs, at least my family's had this problem with the Saabs that we've owned, the check engine light is always on, despite there being nothing wrong with the car. I mean, when I got the car, the check engine light was on. There was legitimately something wrong. I got that fixed, and a couple weeks later, the check engine light came back on. The car runs perfectly smoothly. There's no issues with it, but the check engine light is still on. And as with pretty much all European cars of this age or older that have a good amount of mileage on them, is the reliability. You know, this car is going to start having some problems, and that's part of the reason why you see luxury cars that are the same year, because a Toyota is much more reliable, and you know that you're going to be able to drive it a lot longer, despite it being slower and not having the luxury that a European car does. The last thing I hate about this car is the exhaust. It does have a nice twin exhaust in the back with 2 tips, but it sounds pretty horrendous. I know it's only a 2-liter 4-cylinder with a turbo. It's not supposed to sound good, but you would honestly expect it to sound better than this. It probably sounds worse than a Honda Accord, to be honest. But one thing that's nice about it is when you get that turbo spooling, you do hear the turbo, which is such a great sound. I love that sound. That's one of the things I love about this car. But when you're accelerating and opening up the car and, you know, flooring it, it sounds horrible. And I'll go ahead and throw an exhaust clip in here for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video about some things I hate about my car. I'm going to be doing a review on it soon, and I've got some other great content coming up, some other reviews of my friends' cars that are pretty nice. So stay tuned for more content. Thank you guys for watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you next video.